Okay, so today we are going to work on making a super cozy ladies hat, and it's just a very basic crochet beanie. And what I'm going to be using today is Karen Cakes yarn in a 9mm crochet hook. So the way that we're going to start this out is with a magic ring. So you're just going to take your yarn, lay it across all 4 fingers, wrap it around your top 2 fingers and cross it over. Then you're going to take your hook, put it under that bottom piece and over the top piece, pull up a loop, and then very carefully holding it in place, you're going to remove those 2 fingers, pick up your yarn the way you would when crocheting, and chain 1. So you yarn over and pull through that loop. And there you go. So you've made your magic ring. Now we're going to begin to do our first 6 single crochets, but make sure you're doing it over both pieces of yarn here, and you'll see why in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and crochet, do 6 single crochet. So put your hook through that loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now this is why it was important to yarn over, to do your 6 single crochet over both pieces of the yarn, is because you're going to take this little tail end and pull it. That's going to close that ring. Normally when you start to crochet in the round with a starting chain, you'd have this little hole that won't go away. That's the purpose of this magic ring. So you just continue to pull until there's no hole. Okay? And then you're going to find that little chain 1 space, and you're going to close this round with a slip stitch into that chain 1 space. So you're going to push your hook right through, yarn over, and pull through both loops on your hook. Okay? And you can tug that tail to keep that closed, and eventually it'll just stay closed. It might go loose this first round or whatever, but so now you're going to chain 1, and you're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So push your hook through, and the way you know you've gone through the entire stitch is you'll have both that little V on your hook. Okay, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So that's 1 single crochet. We're going to go right back into that same stitch because we're doing 2 in each one around. And that's 2. Now you're going to go over to the next one, push your hook through, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both, and do it again in that very same stitch. So go ahead and continue doing 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So by the time you get all the way around, you should have a total of 12 stitches, and then come back. So you can pause the video, do that. So now that you've come all the way back around to the beginning, you've done 12 single crochets, you're going to close it with a slip stitch into that chain 1 space. Okay, and you're going to chain 1. Now what you're going to do is in that first stitch of this next round, you're going to do 2 single crochets in that first stitch. So there's 1, and go in the same stitch and do another. And then you're going to do 1 single crochet in the following. You're going to do 2 in the next. And you're going to continue following this pattern all the way around. So you're going to alternate between doing 2 single crochets in the same stitch and then 1 in the following. 2 single crochets in the same stitch, 1 in the following. So go ahead and do that all the way around and then come back. Okay, so now you should have 18 stitches, and you're going to go ahead and close your round with a slip stitch right into that chain 1 space. and chain 1. Okay, now we're going to begin this next round by doing 2 single crochet in the first stitch, one single crochet in the next, and one single crochet in the next. Okay, so this will be the new pattern for this round. You're going to do 2 single crochets and 1 single crochet in the following 2, 2 single crochets in the next, 1 single crochet in the following 2, and continue all the way around. Close your round with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished that round, you should have 24 stitches, and we're going to go ahead and begin the next round. So in this next round, by the end of it, you should have 30 stitches. Okay, so we are going to do 2 single crochet in that first stitch, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in the following 3, 2 single crochet in the next, 1 single crochet in the following 3. So go ahead and do that all the way around and close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then come back. And as I mentioned, by the end of this next round, you should have 30 stitches. Okay, so for this next round, we're going to do 2 single crochet, in that first stitch, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in the following 4 stitches. And you're going to continue on around with this pattern the way that you have for all the other rounds, where you're going to do your 2 single crochet in one stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the following 4, and you're going to continue to alternate that. So 2 single crochet in this next one, 1 single crochet in the following 4. You're going to go all the way around and close with a slip stitch and chain 1, and by the end of this round you should have 36 stitches, and then come back. Okay, so we have a couple more increase rounds to go. So for this next one, you're going to do your 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the following 5 stitches. And by the time that you finish this round, you should have 42 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to do 2 stitches in the 2 single crochet in the following stitch, and then in the following 5 you're going to do 1 single crochet in the following 5, 2 single crochet in the next. Do that all the way around. You should have 42 by then. Okay, so now you should have a total of 42 stitches all the way around. For this next round, we have 2 more increased rounds to go. So for this next one, we're going to do 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the following 6 stitches, and you're going to go ahead and repeat that all the way around until you get back to the beginning. You're going to close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and at the end of this round you should have a total of 48 stitches. So go ahead, pause the video, finish that all the way around, and come. All right, so for this last round of increase, we are going to do our 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then you're going to go ahead and do 1 single crochet in the following 7 stitches, and you're going to go ahead and do that all the way around, close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and by the end of this round you should have 54 stitches. So go ahead, pause the video, do that, come back, and we will move on to the next step. Okay, so now what you're going to do is do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and again it should be 54 stitches in total. So go ahead and do just 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around, and close with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then come back. Okay, so now that you did your 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around, you close with a slip stitch and you chain 1. You're going to go ahead and repeat that for 3 more rounds and then come back. So for 3 more rounds, you're going to do 1 single crochet in every single stitch, close your rounds of the slip stitch, chain 1. So go ahead, do that for 3 more rounds and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished those 3 rounds of single crochet, from this point on, for the rest of the entire project, we are no longer going to be closing our rounds with a slip stitch and doing a chain 1. We're going to work in a continuous round to avoid making a seam down the back of the hat. So the way that you'll be able to keep track of your stitches is with a stitch marker. So whatever you prefer to use, you go right ahead. I'm just going to show you what I personally do, which is I usually just take a piece of yarn that's a different color and put it right between the last stitch of a previous round and the first stitch of my next one. And that way I can keep track and just count from above the stitch marker, or you can literally move it up each round that you are beginning. So when you go ahead, you're going to now continue on with 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around for 8 rounds. You are not going to close them. So for this first one, when you finish doing your entire round of single crochet and you get back to the end like this, you're going to be faced with where you would have normally done a chain 1 and close close with a slip stitch and chain 1. So what you're going to do, instead of doing that, I'm going to show you right here. You're going to skip right over that chain 1 space and begin the next round with your single crochet. So what that's going to look like is like this, okay? And you're just going to continue going all the way around, no more closing your rounds. So go ahead and do 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around for a total of 8 more rounds, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished those rounds, those 8 rounds of single crochet, we're going to begin our decrease rounds. So what you're going to do is make 1 single crochet in the first 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we're going to do a single crochet decrease. So what a single crochet decrease is, for those of you that don't know, is we're going to take these 2 single crochet here and make it 1 stitch. Okay, so the way you do that is you take your hook, push it into that first stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Then you're going to take your hook and push it into the very next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and now you've got 3 loops on your hook. You're just going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So you can see that we took those 2 stitches and we turned it into 1. Okay, so that's how you do a single crochet decrease. So go ahead and continue this. You're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches, a single crochet decrease, all the way around. So you're going to continue to repeat that all the way around. So by the end of this round, you should have 48 stitches. So go ahead and do that and come back. Okay, so now for this next round, we're going to go ahead and do 1 single crochet in the first 6 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to go ahead and do a decrease. And you're going to continue on with this all the way around, doing 6 single crochets, a single crochet decrease, 6 single crochets, single crochet decrease, all the way around, and by the end of this round you should have 42 stitches. Okay, so now for these last 2 rounds, you're just going to go ahead and do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around for 2 rounds, and then come back and I'll show you how to finish off your work. Okay, so now what you're going to do to fasten off your work is you're going to do a slip stitch, pull through a little extra yarn, And then just snip it with a pair of scissors and continue to pull that through. Flip your hat inside out. So remember, you have this little piece, the tail end, from the start of your work, and this one from the end. You're just going to take a yarn needle. I just fold it over and okay. And you're just going to use a yarn needle to hide your tail ends just by weaving them in and out some of the stitches on the inside of your hat. Okay, and then you can just go ahead and cut that off and do that for this starting piece. And that's it, you're done.